me-too mentality. Just because Cooking Mama did well, it doesn't mean that we all should go out and make cooking games. Really decide what you think has legs and what you can do well. Not every publisher is makes games like Majesco makes. Interestingly enough, there was a game in Europe, that I really wanted called Fashion Designer. I fought and fought and fought for it this was at Vivendi at the time, and couldn't get marketing on board. They just did not see it as a game that would sell, that would appeal. They didn't think that girls would be buying DS games. Fabrice and his team signed up the game at Ubisoft, and it sold about 750,000 units. So ridiculous amount. So you know, it's you can fight for it, but you have to you know, you have to have somebody on the marketing and the sales side that really kind of believe that they can sell it, and your company really needs to be set up. The publisher needs to be set up for those types of games, and to Ubisoft's credit, they're very well set up for the casual market right now.
It's true. In fact, one of the strengths of Ubisoft in the last 2 years was has been to really see that new trend coming. So of course we didn't initiate that, but we turned the company around to be able to benefit from it and to make new titles. And one of the strengths on the marketing side is that we were able to create brands that would enable us to push a lot of titles on the retail shelves, because we mentioned that there are some pressure from Walmart in the US and the retailers. And if you just count the number of SKUs that you have for Christmas on the retail, if you count the number of SKUs that you can put on the shelves, it's fairly limited compared to what Ubisoft alone has to propose, for instance. So let's discuss about the whole industry. So when you come with the power of the brands, you have more leverage to put more games on the shelves, when we discussed with retailers. That was one of the strengths on the marketing side that we've had at Ubisoft for the DS market. And also we try not to be the copycat mindset. So we're not doing, if we want to do a cooking game, we don't do a Cooking Mama clone, because there's no point, there's already Cooking Mama, at least it's only once. So if you have Cooking Mama, why would you buy another one? And it's true for the casual market, but at Ubisoft it's also true for all the other games. We have very little racing titles, for instance, but we don't do Burner clone, because there's no point. There's already Burner, it's a very good game. You can buy it right now. So why propose a clone that will come out in 2 years if there's already a very strong contender already on the market? So it all comes down to finding the right angle to approach the target that you have, and then having the marketing muscles to push that game onto the retail shelves and to users.
I guess there are a couple of girls that use the DNs. Got a question from guy from about there.
Sorry. My question is to do with convergent media, and whether or not you would ever consider a publisher approaching you and saying, you know, we've got this game planned, it's original IP, we've also got the movie planned out, we want to do both simultaneously. You know, Jay Wilbur from Epic the other day showed us some fantastic footage using in-game assets. The same game technology, you know, we think it's going to add another, I don't know, 50% to the cost, and but we think there's a real story to be told. We've got the right guys in, we've got the technology to do it. What we want you to do is help us out with the cost of that as well. And you know, it's up to you what you do with the film, but you know, we can make it. We can do a film and a game for you. Is that something that is open to consideration, or is that just it's not really, you know, in your scope?
It's difficult. Film games, at the end of the day, really what determines the sales is how well the film does. So we did the Chronicles of Riddick about 5 years ago. Game rated 92. I think it was the third rated Xbox game ever, and the film just was not very good, and it didn't do very well at the box office, and our sales reflected that. So we need to be very careful when we select what movie licenses we go after. At the end of the day, you really are piggybacking off of that movie release, and You know, regardless of how good the game is, you know, the movie has a direct effect on it, so there's a lot of risk there. So there would probably be a large hurdle in terms of signing something up like that, and there would be a lot of diligence and a lot of evaluation going into not only the game side, but really the movie side.
From our perspective, it's actually something we are looking at. There's a belief internally at THQ, and led by our creative director over there, who comes out of Hollywood and has worked in this business as well, as that, you know, I guess he refers to it as transmedia, that, you know, games can, you know, the IP can cross, whether it's comic books or television or movies. And, you know, even with, when we had the blog, when it first came out, people said, oh, it looks really cool, that could be a Saturday morning cartoon. And so you start to have discussions with the, you know, the studios, and, you know, again, they have their own gauntlet to go through. But I think the one thing that's happened, and there's been a recognition in Hollywood because of the popularity of games that, wow, there's a real business out there, and there's, you know, there's IPs being created that might cross over into television, film, comic books. And there's more and more of that happening. They're actually coming to us. It's kind of the reverse, and no different than Activision's opened up a whole new thing with Guitar Hero and Rock Band. The same with the music industry. It's changed the way they look at games, and we're starting to drive some of their business. So I think it's happening. It's slow, and there's, you know, different. Like I said, there's a whole different gauntlet you have to run through in Hollywood.
My take on this is that it is definitely happening, but as a developer, you should be very careful, because your primary goal is to develop games, but properties for the movie industry. So sometimes trying to go in some direction at the same time, you may lose focus. So I'm personally very careful about that, very cautious. On the corporate side, of course, we are giving a strong look at this convergence thing. We set up a studio in Montreal that is working on creating feature film. We are working on short stuff, a lot on its own IPs, and we are doing books, different other stuff based on our IP. So this is something that will take off in the coming years, but we must not forget that we are game companies at heart. And if you want to be successful in the other media, you have to be good at developing your game, basically. Because if you are developing a so-so game, there's a chance that you will develop a film out of that.
Yeah, you get some pitches where you walk away, and, you know, the first question you ask is, are you guys trying to make a game or a movie? I mean, what is your passion? What are you trying to do? And I think we're looking for good games, not, you know, the great movie.
And the same thing happens for the sequels. A lot of times when we meet developers, they are pitching not only one game, but 3 or 4 games. But I'm very interested in the first one. If the first one is good, then after that we can discuss about sequels. But if you're already discussing about the third and the fourth game, there's very little interest on my side. I need to make sure that what you're developing right now, that will be out on the market in 18 months, 24 months, will be consistent, different, and will make an impact on the market.
Cool, Brian. Yeah, question down the front here.
All right, I think I didn't personally pass on it, but BioShock was one of those that I think.
Yeah, none of us here personally pass on anything, nor are we the final say. But definitely BioShock at Vivendi, we had a relationship with Ken Levine, and we tried to push it through, but we ended up passing on that. I think everybody passed on Guitar Hero a couple times, probably. You know, the fashion designer game, just some smaller things that are revenue opportunities. There are a lot of instances.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, we all have our stories of things that we've seen at one time or another, and you're not sure how it's going to come out. And also, you know, in some games, and there's the flip side, we've signed up plenty, and you go, oh, fuck, why did we do that? So, it goes both ways.
Can you name any examples?